things here before we get started. Just getting the obvious out of the way. We won't have an update on TQ. I know we got carted off, but again, until you get the imaging, we won't know. Kyle, same thing. I won't have an update. Have to get the imaging. Obviously, you get the opinions. It usually takes 24, 48 hours. So we'll see where those guys are at tomorrow through Tuesday, and obviously up to Wednesday's practice. Other than that, I thought it was a really good job by our guys. Good team win. Overcame some adversity, some of it our own doing in the first half, and kept swinging. Really happy for CP. Pretty cool when a guy breaks an NFL record. We obviously needed that play, and so it was a great team win.
Yeah, Coach, on the kickoff return, do you feel that kind of ignited the both units there?
Well, I mean, it was a team. It was a huge play. Obviously, where the game had gone, they'd stolen possession. Avery's a huge part of this team, and guys fighting for extra yards. We got to be smart, know when the journey's over. I mean, he was trying to get extra yards. We got to be smarter there. They were able to get the ball back. Obviously, CP, he cut back, had a big run. They made an effort play. The ball came out, and they capitalized. And so that game could have gone another way, but it says a lot about our guys. They gave the opportunity. We felt close a week ago on some returns, and big-time play by the return unit and by CP.
And the defense coming out and getting a stop, I think the third game that they got an interception to close one out. That might not be correct, but Seattle, I think.
Feels like Cleveland, Seattle.
Seattle, yeah. After giving up the eight-minute drive, how big was that for the unit to come out and, kind of put their foot down at the end?
And that's a give and take, D-Led. And it's a real credit to our defensive staff and the defense to execute that plan. We know what they were going to try to do. If they're going to hit a couple, we're going to make them earn it the long, hard way. We didn't let Justin get loose on any big runs. Guys tackled well for the most part. I mean, they have a good physical football team. It's the NFL, but we weren't going to sit there and hand them things, and our guys really executed the plan well, tackled well, physical, got to the quarterback. It's give and take. We got a couple sacks. He got out of a couple of them. But, that 8-minute drive, a credit to them. You got to cover for a long time when you put a rush plan like that. And like I said, it was a heavyweight fight. You got two teams that are physical, and thankfully we were able to grind them out. Big game for Koo. A lot of guys, it's been D-Led. It felt like it had been 4 weeks since we had played. So glad to come back and get a win at home.
Sticking with the defensive storyline for a minute, you talk about this team knowing kind of what the Bears wanted to do offensively and being able to use the game plan. I mean, when it really boils down to it, to keep Justin Fields under 100 yards rushing on the game, I mean, how important was that, do you think, to the flow of it?
Yeah, we weren't going to, like I said, we weren't going to hand them anything. We were going to turn our back and hand them anything. So we're going to make them earn it. Like I said, Dean and his staff, great job. And really, credit to the players. They're the ones that are out there executing, and it's about those guys. And we're fortunate enough to get to coach a group of guys like this that just put their head down and work and play well as a team. It's an unselfish team. Glad to get that win.
Following up on Justin Fields, he took a lot of hard hits from your defense today. Did you see any sort of cumulative effect toward the end there, particularly their last possession?
You run him that many times, and he's a running back when he does that. And so guys tackle. Keep it in front of you, make sure, again, nobody turn their back. It wasn't on one person. It's team defense. So, I mean, I think any game you get like that, a lot of carries add up. Just like I said, I'm proud of the defense, the way they execute the plan. I think it certainly has an effect. When you, instead of giving one up for 70, if you make them go the long, hard way, it worked out in our favor.
And one on the other side of the ball. I'm sure it was a tough week for Marcus coming off the last two games. Could you just talk about maybe how he handled the week and today?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, like a lot of things, I mean, it's easy to say all the right things, do all the right things when everything's going your way, but you find out a lot about people in adversity. And obviously, he's been through a lot the last couple of years, certainly for all of us. We wanted to get that taste out of our mouth. The last 10 days, like I said, it felt like it's been a month. It says a lot about his character, because you're going to find out a lot about people when your back's against the wall. Came out, I thought he executed the first drive really well, in a good rhythm, able to extend that play. They grabbed Kyle on it, and able to extend that play to Drake. Showed a lot of guts, put his foot in the ground a few times, got us a touchdown going in. Thought he executed the 2-minute drive well, handled it all. Wasn't perfect, never is, but says a lot about his character, Jeff, and it was good to see that.
Defensively, you guys didn't really blitz much today. What went into the strategy to kind of choose that as the way to go to defend Justin Fields?
You saw it. I mean, honestly, like, there's give and take. There's a lot of good coaches. That's the fun part about this league. I mean, if somebody can, you try to take away people's strengths, easier said than done. But guys, nobody panicked. Everybody did their job. We got a physical football team. That's what we think's our edge. So we thought whoever was the most physical team today would win. And so thankfully that was us.
And I know you said you don't have updates on TQ or Pitts yet, but
I
is there any concern that either one is a long-term situation?
No, Mike, I'm not trying to evade the question. I've been through this enough where you think you see a guy get carted off and he's actually okay. You see a guy run off and he's done for the year. Until we get the imaging and kind of standard operating procedure now, guys are going to want to get opinions, and that's great. I mean, that's part of the NFL. So I won't have anything for you for 24, 48 hours.
And just with Cordero, when you're looking at kind of how you handled him, it seemed like he got a little bit more work there this week
Yeah,
than
coming
last
off
week.
10
Is it
days.
just
Well, we had 2 games in 5 days. You don't play for a month or so. You got 2 games in 5 days. Again, I mean, we didn't have that many offensive snaps anyways in Charlotte. So, extra rest. I mean, it's a big stretch for us. It was a big one for us. Keeps us in it. And like I said, we'll have a huge challenge going up to Washington. It's always Thanksgiving can be a distraction if you let it. And Washington's been playing really good football, so we got to make sure we're ready to go.
Coach, tie game, 8 minutes left. You really leaned on your ground game to kind of close it out. Just what they did there, especially on the 4th down play.
Which one? The one that CP converted?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you learn from previous mistakes. Obviously, the momentum, the defense have been on the field forever. Just the way the game went, right? You have a stolen possession. That's what I like. If you fumble in a return game, it's the way somebody steals a possession, or if they end the half and start the half. That's kind of the way that happens. So the defense has been out there a long time. So both their offense and defense look pretty tired. And so you got to make those calls. That's what I get paid to do. And it wasn't like our offense. They were going back and forth, and even CP. He looked tired, but he dug deep, and there was no stopping him when Marcus handed that ball. And we needed that play. And then we got aggressive, figured they were going to pressure. They did. Tried to end it, and then Koo made the big kick.
Coach, could you discuss the player center, Drew Dahlman?
Yeah.
On the play before that, he got pushed into Patterson. Then he comes back and gets 2 blocks to kind of spring him on
Yeah.
that 4th and 2.
Sure, yeah, and that's the give and take. We hit them on the sneak early, so they were in there. They were all in there in that sneak front, so we were trying to go around them. Obviously, they got more penetration, and sometimes that penetration doesn't matter if you're able to get the edge, but it stopped our feet, and that's the NFL. I mean, there's good players inside on both sides. They always have a say too, and people forget that. And but going down there and get the 4th down, and like I said, it's a gotta have it, and thankfully we got that.
You see TQ go down, and then you have Abdullah Anderson, Jalen Dalton, Timmy Horn that kind of come in. What does that say about the depth that you feel like you have accrued on that defensive interior right now?
Well, it says a lot about us as a football staff. Our personnel guys do a great job. I mean, they found players from everywhere. And if you got a common vision and you don't have a political staff where it doesn't feel like Capitol Hill, and you got a group of people that could check their egos at the door, and part of our jobs as coaches, be on the same page and develop guys, because it's naturally going to happen in the NFL. You get to a game, hopefully Kyle's all right. That's what coaching is. You got to alter your plan, see what you're going. Michael Pruitt stepped up big time. There's a little things and nuance in the game plan that he did that nobody will ever know. But that's our job. It's our job as coaching and a football staff and a team, and our guys believe that. So whoever's out there, we got faith in.
Coach, only 8 third downs for your offense today. Was there any intentionality in avoiding 3rd down, or is that more just a byproduct of the way the game played out?
It's kind of a byproduct of the way the game played out. Like I said, they were on the field a lot in the first half, and we knew they were going to run the ball, and so it's a fast game. I don't know how many total snaps. Anybody have that on them? I don't have that on me, but so that's give and take. You get the 2 turnovers, right? The turnover happened after the punt return, and then the other one happened on the first play of a drive. So that had a lot to do with it as well.
Anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
Stopping a 2-game losing streak.
Huge win, and it's nice to do it at home, in front of our fans, and Like I said, at the end of the day, when you're playing games like this and they're meaningful in this time of the year, the games will continue to get bigger and bigger. And it's fun to be around these young guys to kind of help them understand what's going on. But we're excited about what's next.
What was going on in the huddle on the 4th and 2 when Coach decided to, go for it there with the, game tied?
We just wanted to make a play. We were hoping for it. We appreciate the confidence from Art to allow us to do that, and CP made a great play.
Marcus, this was honestly probably one of the most balanced offensive attacks you guys have had this year. I mean, what do you think led to that in the course of this game?
Really, I think it started distributing the ball, letting our guys go make plays, kind of lightening up the boxes a little bit, and then as those things happen, being able to establish the run, control the line of scrimmage. You got to give a lot of credit to our guys up front. I mean, really, they dominated, and to be able to do that and to be able to be balanced like that makes us tough to stop.
When CP takes off for a 100-plus yard kickoff return for a touchdown, I mean, what are you kind of thinking as you're like, well, I'm not going in anymore?
Yeah, we were saying it was a great drive offense. Really cool, really special moment. It's cool to be a part of that, right? Be a part of history. And I knew when they kicked it to him, especially after what had happened earlier with the fumble, that there was no way he was going to let that touch back. So, again, he's an incredible player. Still got the wheels, man, for being 10 years in. Once he hit that second level, he was gone. It was fun to watch.
Arthur Smith was talking after the game about the role that Michael Pruitt played in this game. What did you see from him and kind of how he was maybe an unsung guy throughout these 4 quarters?
He doesn't get a lot of credit, and he deserves a whole lot. Like, he not only does he block at the point of attack and do a lot of different things for us. Unfortunately with Kyle going down, he had to step into a bigger role and had a huge play for us on one of those keepers. And it's kind of fun for me. I've known Michael since we're in Tennessee together, and I have complete faith and trust in him. And he's done a lot of the dirty jobs, and it's cool to see him have some success today.
Marcus, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
With the team just facing so many adversities, can you just speak a little bit just about just the resilience of the team?
And it starts up top. We've got a really cool culture that's being built here. We've got a really cool just mentality. And you know what? It's fun because these guys are younger and they're really embracing that type of mentality. Because it's not easy. It's not easy to get everybody to buy in. And, when things are going south and you're not winning games, you've got a two-game losing streak. It's so easy just to kind of dive and focus on your own individual things and not worry about what's going on with the team. But our guys are totally bought in. It's fun to be a part of, and really, I'm excited for our guys.
Speaking of adversity, you were coming off a couple pretty tough weeks yourself, and I'm just wondering what that was like to go through and how you handled the week. And
Yeah, no, I mean, as a professional athlete, you would love for every week to be perfect, and you're throwing a bunch of touchdowns and a bunch of yards, and you're scoring a bunch of points, and it's never really that way. And I think the time that I had in Tennessee really kind of built me for situations like over the last couple weeks, and just kind of water off my back, understand that I got to do my job, go back to work, do whatever I can to help this team win.
following that up, were you viewing this game as any sort of referendum on you in terms of whether you'd be the starting quarterback moving forward this season at all?
No, not at all. I think when you start to think about those types of things, you let outside noise kind of dictate how you play. Eventually, it's going to happen where you're not going to like what the situation is. So, I just focus on what I can do. Really, just controlling what I can control, going to work, always putting in the time and the effort, and when it comes to the games, just kind of loose and playing.
Going back to the final drive that you guys had that ended with Youngway's kick, it feels like there have been moments where that's what needed to happen in late in games. The fact that it was able to actually happen and you guys were actually able to put together a long, productive, methodical drive at that time, what did it mean for you guys in that moment?
Well, it's huge, right? Like, you understand kind of the situations and the scenarios, and Art does a great job of explaining those types of things to us. They can't score points, they don't got the ball. And I think, unfortunately, we haven't been able to convert some of those in late games. And to be able to do that today, I think is a huge confidence booster for this offense. And I think that's something we can build off of moving forward.
Anything else? All right.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.